osteoporosis. I'm just really excited to share my journey with you. That started about a year and 2 months ago. And my goal today is to hopefully motivate you to help you heal your bones without medication, as I did. And I'm just so excited to share my story with you. So this month is Osteoporosis Month. And I laugh when I see this picture because it's an elderly lady. They're picturing here, and osteoporosis, osteopenia can happen in your 50s. Shortly after menopause is when my bone density started declining. So even though they're showing a woman that's a little bit older than some of us here, it can happen in the early 50s, even younger. It's rare, but it's younger. Even men suffer from osteoporosis, but it's mostly for women due to the estrogen, declining. So about a year and a half ago, I saw my GYN. And I just recently had my DEXA scan, and she was just all strung out about my results and told me that I really needed to think about infusion because my deterioration was significant from 3 years previous. She told me you couldn't reverse bone loss without medications. And I, being a determined person that I am, when someone tells me I can't do something, I kind of like say, yes, I can. So I told her, give me a year, just give me 1 year. If my bones get worse, don't improve, let's go for it. But just give me a year. So you can't heal your bones without medication. You can heal your bones if you're willing to do the work. Because like everything else, even with weight loss, you have to put the work in, you have to be motivated, and you have to want to do it, okay? And it's never too late, no matter how old you are, whether you have osteopenia in the early stages, now's the time to take action so you can stop it. If you're, have osteoporosis currently, you can build back your bone density. And in 1 year, I decreased I increased my bone density significantly. I do want to premise the fact that if your bones have gotten to the point where they're really deteriorated and your numbers are really out of control and you're at high risk for fracture, talk to your doctor first. You may want to reconsider. From my experience talking to different people, doctors tend to kind of jump the gun and want to prescribe medication even in the early stages, and really encourage you to really think about it before you dive into that medication. All right, so always check with your physician about taking any supplements. This is really important. I just didn't start taking supplements. I did consult with my primary care physician about taking supplements, especially calcium. Okay, calcium bicarbonate can cause kidney stones. If you have issues with that, you don't want to start, taking the calcium bicarbonate. I don't take that bicarbonate. I take the calcium citrate. Calcium citrate is processed differently if you're prone to kidney stones. So I take that instead, and I'll tell you where I got it from in a sec. Also, if you have any thyroid issues or heart issues, you always want to check with your doctor before you start taking any calcium supplements. Again, just double check with them before you begin. Also, you may want to consider what food you're eating. You may not need 1,200 milligrams of calcium if you're eating a lot of foods with calcium. So you want to keep a calcium diary, which I'm going to get to. So when I started taking the calcium citrates, the pills were horribly large. I could barely swallow them. So I started cutting them in half, and then they were scratching my throat. So I'm thinking there's got to be a better way. So I started looking for chewables, but I just couldn't find a chewable that was just strictly calcium citrate. So actually I found these, you could read that. This is calcium citrate. They're chewables. I got them on a bariatric supplement site. So they sell supplements for patients who've undergone bariatric surgery, because obviously you can't chew or swallow large pills. So I found these. They're relatively inexpensive, and the name of the company is Unjury, Unjury. I'm going to share my email with you after this presentation, and I'll let you know where I get all my supplements from. You also need vitamin D3 to help chauffeur the calcium into your bones, right? I know you all probably know the importance of vitamin D3. These levels should be checked periodically, your vitamin D levels, your calcium levels. Once you start taking supplements, these levels should be regulated. So I take also K2 with D3. The K2 with MQ7 is needed for the calcium and the D3 to move into the bones. All right, so these are your three main supplements. This is what I take. There's another supplement out there that I know some women take called Algae Cal. They have a lot of different minerals in them, but there's one particular mineral called strontium that I cannot take because it gives me headaches. So, but these are the three primary ones. I also take vitamin C. Not a lot of studies on the vitamin C, but I am just taking it because I did hear that it does help also absorb the calcium, or you can have a cup of orange juice in the morning to help absorb the calcium. I don't particularly like drinking straight juice, so I do the vitamin C. I also take magnesium and zinc in the evenings. The magnesium helps me sleep, also promotes healthy bones, and the collagen peptides. I take a powder form of collagen peptides, 40 milligrams. This helps with the joints. It helps with cartilage. It's great for your skin and hair and nails, but it's also shown to really help with protecting the bones through the cartilages. I did hear recently I share my story with a lot of people, and I get tips as well from people that making your own collagen from chicken parts, in particular, chicken feet have a lot of collagen. And I was just talking to Isabel about this yesterday, how her mom makes stock and uses chicken feet. You want to get that nice gelatinous broth from the bones. Using the chicken feet, you cook it up for a couple of hours, you chill it, and it forms this beautiful gelatin. You drink 1 cup a day. And maybe the person who suggested that might be on this call today. I don't know, but I'm going to start making my own collagen as soon as I finish up my my powder. The collagen I use is called Vital Proteins. I'm sure you've heard of it. Comes in a blue canister. So this is my regimen. And then I get my blood work done yearly to check my calcium levels and my D3 levels. Okay. Through my research and through my reading and all the work I've done trying to investigate natural ways to help bones, I found that eating 4 to 6 prunes a day have these polyphenol extracts that can preserve the bones and stop the osteoclasts from invading the bones. This was a study done at Pennsylvania University State Hospital. It was quite a large study they did with these prunes. So now I do eat 4 to 6 prunes an evening. I wouldn't worry about, the overactive bowels. Your body does get used to that. And it's been kind of nice to be regular eating the prunes every day. So I do eat 4 to 6 prunes a day. I do eat 4 to 6 Brazil nuts a day. They have something called selenium, which has also been shown to preserve bone density. You can take selenium as a separate supplement, but I'd rather eat the Brazil nuts because I like them. You have to be careful with selenium because you can have too much selenium. So you don't want to do more than 6 Brazil nuts a day. Also, with the selenium, if you're taking a supplement, like a all-in-one, like a one a day or a multivitamin, you want to check and make sure that the selenium's not in there, because you don't want to have too much selenium. I think in the previous slide, I posted, did I post the selenium? I don't, no, I didn't post it, but there's a certain level of selenium not to go over certain milligrams. Soy, I eat tofu, edamame. The Asian population has a very low incidence of fractures and osteoporosis in Asian countries, due to the fact they eat a lot of soy. So why not? I throw some edamame in my salad, some tofu when I can. Can't hurt, right? Dairy, of course, yogurt, cheeses, milk, we all know those are loaded with calcium, as well as vegetables, which will go on the next slide. So if I'm eating a yogurt that has 200 milligrams of calcium, I don't take 1,200 milligrams of calcium a day. I keep a calcium diary, so I know that my yogurt and the milk I put in my coffee, I know that has 300 to 400 milligrams of calcium. So I deduct that from the 1,200 I need. So even though the dosage on my calcium citrate is 1,200, I don't always take the full dose. All right. The next slide, it's interesting with beans. Not all beans are the same as far as calcium. White beans have the most calcium. Salmon, a lot of calcium plus the omega-3s, which I also take as well. Sardines, can't stand them, but if you like sardines, 350 whopping milligrams per 3.75 ounce can. That is pretty high and pretty awesome, but I just can't chew on those little fishies. Just can't do it. Bok choy per cup, 74 milligrams per cup. Love it. Throw it in soup. You can eat it raw. I saute it as a side vegetable with food. Molasses, blackstrap molasses, 100 milligrams per tablespoon. You can use it and you could stir it into your yogurt. You could stir it in, you can get a little bit creative with that as well. Instead of honey or instead of maple syrup, you can use the molasses. Kale, 53 milligrams per cup. Oranges, 52 per medium orange. Turnip greens, 80 milligrams per cup. Sesame seeds, 88 milligrams per tablespoon. So in one of the classes I teach, I asked the group to keep a calcium diary. And they're like, oh, it's so hard. It's so hard. It's really quite easy. Once you start keeping a calcium diary, I mean, basically you can go to myplate.com and get the counts for calcium and how much calcium in different foods. And then once you know how much calcium is in your yogurt and in the foods that you eat, you will start incorporating more of these foods into your diet to build your bones. So it might be helpful for you to keep that calcium diary just to, initially maybe, 4 days worth of calcium foods. Like when you're on Weight Watchers, we keep a diary of our food, right? So we know how many portions we're having or how much of it or how many points something is. Same kind of thing here. What calcium foods, things that might surprise you. Chia seeds, right? 179 milligrams per ounce. Amaranth, which is a grain, healthy grain. There's the orange juice I was telling you about. Orange juice, you see it in the store, it'll say fortified with calcium, high amount of calcium right there. Soy milk, almond milk, tofu, Cheerios, believe it or not, fortified. Milks, kefir, which is a fermented milk. And again, yogurt can go up to about 450 milligrams of calcium per cup. This is what a calcium diary looks like, right? So for breakfast, if you had a Greek yogurt, an orange, and some chia seeds, right? Throwing that in your yogurt. For lunch, if you had a kale salad with a hard-boiled egg and sprinkle some sesame seeds, right? And then for dinner, snacks, you got your 4 prunes there, your vanilla ice cream, low fat. I make my own ice cream. That's another story. Dinner, 6 ounces of salmon, hello, 340 milligrams, right? And butternut squash. So snacks, total 100 milligrams, dinner totals 407 milligrams, right? You got my breakfast, 416 milligrams, lunch, 200. You have your whole calcium intake right here, okay? So it's not hard. It's not hard. Now, I understand some of you can't have dairy, or maybe some of you are vegans, but there are a lot of vegetables, again, that have the calcium in it. This is something I just learned recently about high oxalate foods. Oxalates are found in certain foods. They bind to the calcium, and they can create more osteocytes, which destroy the bone. Spinach is something that we should really be careful about eating if we have osteoporosis. It's not going to hurt if you have it once in a while, or once every couple of weeks, but I wouldn't be eating a spinach salad every day. All right, because it has the most oxalates out of any food. You want to drink plenty of water to flush out any oxalates that might be harming your bones. And you can also request, there's a blood test out there to test your levels of oxalates to make sure that you're not producing high oxalates. They can be contained in some beans, Swiss chard, rhubarb, beets, eggplant, pumpkin, processed meats. Low oxalate foods would be bananas, cantaloupe, papaya, broccoli. Okay, now we'll get down to some of the other stuff I've been doing. So my primary care, when she discovered I had osteoporosis, she's more on board with, well, let's try other things before we jump into the medications. So my primary care suggested the weighted vest. So what this is it loads the bones with weight. And this is how you build bone density, by bone loading. Okay, so I started walking with a weighted vest. I don't do housework with it. I don't exercise with it except for the walking. This is not intended to wear around the house. Okay, this is intended strictly for walking. It's really important that you get a vest that has the same weight here and the same weight in the back, because you want to make sure that you're even in both front and back. And you want to make sure that it comes with different weights so you can add weight and take weight away. So you want to start off, as with any exercise, a low weight. You may want to start out with a 5-pound vest. Okay, I walk an hour a day with the weighted vest. I do it usually on the treadmill. You don't want to go over 10% of your body weight. All right, so my weight is low. I'm a little person, so I don't go over 8 pounds. Okay, so you have to make sure you don't go over 10% of your body weight. So you figure that out, and then you can go up accordingly. I think the vests go up to 12 pounds, but you want to start off slow, because when I first started using the vest, it was like I was really getting an extra workout. All right, imagine having holding a 10-pound weight and walking on a treadmill. But the whole idea is to weigh down the bones and load the bones. So I really do like the weighted vest. And like I said, I'll give you my results at the end of the presentation. The next is the vibration platform. There are many types of vibration plates out there. This has really been shown to help with increased bone density by stimulating the bones. I stand on my vibration plate 10 minutes a day. It's all you have to do. They've done many studies on vibration plates, and it's good for balance. It's good for muscles. It's good for osteoporosis. You can look it up. This is a really excellent brand. They're kind of pricey, but our health is worth everything. All right. And bones, it's a large organ. We don't always feel the bones crumbling. We don't always know it's a problem until we fracture our hip or our leg. So you want to be proactive and kind of get ahead of it. All right. Also, these vibration platforms are really helpful with balance. And you really need good balance when you have osteoporosis or osteopenia, because you won't fall as much, right? We want to be able to balance ourselves. If we feel ourselves starting to stumble, we want to catch ourselves before we fall. Another thing I started doing, besides the weighted vest, the supplements, and the vibration plate, I really enjoy yoga. I didn't really enjoy it at first. I'm not the Zen kind of a person that can just kind of just do these very methodical, beautiful positions. I kind of want to be a little bit more active, but I really love it now. And there's specific yoga poses for osteoporosis. They're very subtle, but we're using our own body weight to build our bone strength, especially in the hip area. The femoral head is very thin, and we want to really build that up, and as well as the spine. That's where the osteoporosis, spine, hip, total hip joint, that's where it tends to fracture the most, shoulders as well. So these 12 positions for yoga, you can find these on YouTube. There's different instructors that teach these poses. They're all a little bit different from one another. So you can find an instructor that you prefer, and you could do these poses right in your home, right in front of your TV on a mat. Or you could take a yoga class. I try to get 4 classes in a week. I'm fortunate. I work at the Health and Wellness Center at Valley, where I have the classes right at my fingertips. So at lunchtime, I do my classes, or I stay late after work and I do my yoga classes as well. Tai Chi is another exercise that's really good for bone health as well. This is OsteoStrong, which I recently started going to in Paramus. There's also a location in Northvale. There's about 350 of these locations through the United States. Osteoporosis, they use this OsteoStrong to bone build by using these 4 machines that create you to put pressure on your bones. They are located in Paramus on East Ridgewood Avenue. You can check it out. I've been going there for about a year. I've really gotten very strong by going there. My strength has increased significantly since I've been going to OsteoStrong. As a matter of fact, I couldn't go for 3 months. And when I went back after not going, I had some surgery. My strength had decreased significantly. So that's something else you can explore. You can look them up and look at some testimonials and some research on that as well. Do you have good posture? Okay, posture, so important. I learned so much through my research. Rounding the back is really a very bad position. We tend to round our backs when we put our shoes on, right? We tend to bend over. That's rounding the back. If we're doing yoga, the cat-cow position, my yoga instructor, who's very wise, always mentions in the beginning of the class, if you have osteoporosis, don't do the cat, but you could do the cow, but not the cat. You don't want to hunch your back. Hunching the back can cause small microfractures in your spine. Okay, so just be cautious when you're tying shoes, when you're bending down to pick up something. You want to hinge from the hip. It's like, imagine your hips having a little hinge like you have on your cabinets, and they just bend, right? And you just bend down with a flat back, flat back. Always think flat back. Walking straight, not hunched over. When you get in and out of bed, just don't jump out of bed. I bring my knees up, I roll on my side, and then I get out of bed. Sneezing. Isabel will tell you, I have a very pronounced sneeze. I think it's hereditary. My mom has the same loud sneezes, but please be careful, because sneezing loudly or sneezing, very vigorously can cause fractures in your spine. If your spine is really delicate, you have high osteoporosis in that, you want to just really be careful about, how you sneeze, or don't hold your sneezes in too, because that could create pressure in your spine. Slumping, tying shoes. Look, I found a typo in my slide presentation. So it's tying shoes. All right. Also, when you hang your head low, you're putting more weight on your cervical spine. So I actually have a great illustration of it that I show my class about the head and keeping the head straight. The head is heavy, right? But when you start hanging the head, it puts more weight here. So you want to make sure you keep your head up and in good position. It's so hard. For so many years, we've had the head drop or we've slumped, but it's never too late to make those corrections. So one of the classes, how I got involved with Project Healthy Bones, when I found out I had osteoporosis, I'm like, all right, I want to do everything I can to try to reverse this and help myself. So I found out that there was this program that was free called Project Healthy Bones. It's run through the state of Department of Health and Human Services. And I couldn't find a meeting anywhere. I couldn't find a class in the evenings. They were all during the day, or the classes were far away. So I thought, well, if you can't beat them, join them. So I started looking to see where they had some training to become an instructor. So I asked Isabel, I said, Isabel, come on, join me. Let's be instructors and let's teach our own class. So Isabel and I went last summer and we took the Project Healthy Bones instructor class, and we learned how to teach the class, and we now hold our own class here in Mahwah at the Health and Wellness Center. We just started our second series. It's a 24-week program. I think we have some people here that attend our class. What we've discovered in the class was that people had better balance after the 24 weeks. They were more aware of their posture. They were much more aware of their calcium intake, because we really talk a lot about calcium-enriched foods. And because of the calcium diary, they now are more informed about which foods they should eat for bone health. In the Project Healthy Bones class, we talk about posture. We do exercises for posture. We do a lot of balance exercises, strength training, and flexibility. The diagram that I'm showing there, why does lifting weights and resistance training help bones? I never really got a clear answer on that. I couldn't figure out, if you're using our muscles, well, what does that have to do with the bone density, right? What does that have to do? How does that affect bones? Well, as you can see from the diagram, right, the skeletal muscle is pulling away from the bone, and that stimulates the bone and causes it to become denser. And I use this diagram all the time because I think it explains it so beautifully. So I hope that helps you guys understand why the resistance training helps. So as you can see, I do a lot for my bone health. My bone density on my spine went from 3.8. If you know your scores, you know your T-scores, my bones were in the high 30s, high 3.8 I had, and my spine is now down to 3.2. And this was in a year. My hips also helped. They went down from 3.4 to 3.0 in the total hip and the femur. Now, you know, your doctors never call you. You get a call from the receptionist, or, you have to wait for your next visit. My doctor called me personally, and she wanted to know what I was doing. And I told her, I said, I told you to give me a year. And she was very proud of me. And she said, just keep up the good work. And like I said, I don't know what it was that really decreased made my bones healthier. Was it the supplements? Was it the vibration plate? Was it the walking vest? Was it the exercise? Was it the yoga? I don't know. All I know is that my bones got better, and that I'm going to be a strong older lady. Okay. My mom's 98. She's had 1 million fractures. She fractured her neck in 2 places last year. She's great, by the way, but I want to be that type of lady that keeps moving, and in 10 years from now, I want to be walking quickly in the supermarket. I don't want to be debilitated by this bone disease. It's one of those silent diseases that you don't know you have until you fracture a bone, you know? So get motivated. I hope this helped you today. Don't stop, just keep doing and doing and doing, all right? And work hard, you know? I used to work for Weight Watchers, and I used to tell my members that losing weight is like a part-time job. You have to put the work in to get the results, all right? So where do you want to be 5 years from now? Where do you want to be 10 years from now? You know, I know where I want to be. I want to be healthy, and I want to be able to play pickleball and exercise and stay with my yoga. So for more information on Project Healthy Bones, this is the website. And on this website, you could find more information on where to find a class and how to become an instructor. Honestly, if you have free time and you're retired, this is a great class to teach at senior centers or anywhere. This is so needed in this area, Bergen County. A lot of these classes are in Morris County. There's not a lot up here. It's fun. Isabel and I had a great time taking the class. It's fun teaching the class as well. It's free. The training is free. I plan on taking this with me when I retire and helping other people with their osteoporosis and various different locations, God willing, right? That's that. As far as books I've read a lot of different books. Healthy Bones, Healthy You, a little bit technical, but a very thorough book. Preventing and Reversing Osteoporosis, I want to say, was one of my favorite books. And this was written by an MD. There was The Myth of Osteoporosis, talks a lot about DEXA scans and how inaccurate they could be. For instance, you know, when I have my DEXA scans, I always go back to the same place I've had the previous one done, and I always ask if it's been calibrated recently, because you can get different results from different machines. It's not totally reliable. So this book kind of talks about that. All right. No Bones About It from Jane Wessler. She talks about her own journey. She was diagnosed with osteoporosis at a very young age. And she went through, the medication. She did the whole process. Interesting read from her. I got very motivated from reading that book. Yoga for Osteoporosis will teach you the different positions that you can do to treat the osteoporosis, also written by an MD. Really good book. It shows you, all the positions that you could do. And they're simple, they're easy to do. You could do them in your own home. Mary, who's on this video, sent these to me yesterday. And there's some experts in the field, Margaret Martin. I haven't been able to see all her videos, but she talks about more of a natural way to cure osteoporosis. She talks about DEXA scans. She talks about how to read your DEXA scan results. They talk about supplements and vitamins. These are all on YouTube. Sarah Meeks, another great resource to go to. Marilyn Martin, exercises. Let me tell you, when I saw with this woman, what she looked like, I mean, she's like a powerhouse. She's got big muscles and she's one strong lady. Let me tell you, lots of resources. The videos are great to watch. Thank you, Mary. I gave you credit for that slide as well. Again, we're going to be recording this, and if you want more information, you could email me. Actually, Isabel, can you put my email in the chat? So if you want to contact me about anything, about my resources or about these videos, or maybe you don't have time to write this stuff down, I'll send everything to you. So that's my story, guys. I'm going to continue my good work and try my best to keep my bones strong. And I'm open to any questions. Let's see. I can't. Anybody have any questions about, let's see. Okay. Does soy cause breast cancer? That's been a very controversial thing, right? My girlfriend just went through breast cancer and chemo and all, and I asked her to ask her oncologist. And her oncologist told her soy in a natural form is fine. Tofu, edamame, things like that. She wasn't keen on a soy supplement, isoflavones, I think they're called. But that's been going back and forth. So I do, consult with your oncologist again, but that research has been back and forth. Again, the next person from Isabel does not cause breast cancer. Exactly. There's been a scare in a long time for that. All right. What else we got, Isabel? I can't quite see. Okay, Kathy, I looked up spinach and oxalates last night. Cooking spinach reduces. Great, Mary. Thank you. Cooked spinach reduces the oxalate effect. That's awesome. Okay, so raw spinach, not so good. Cooked, better. Still has some oxalates, but not as much. I don't particularly care for cooked spinach, so I probably won't be eating that. All right. Thank you, Mary.
There was one more question. Any specific exercises to strengthen the neck section of the spine? Probably like the head tall would be one of them, right, Kathy?
Yeah, so keeping the posture is really important. So one of the exercises we do, and actually we could demonstrate that to you right now. One important thing we could do for the neck is be careful for the posture, right? So we want to do this exercise that 3 times a day, we just gently push our chin back. All right, we're not going like this, we're just pushing the chin back, okay? And then holding it for 3 seconds, right? When you're doing back stretches, for instance, we don't want to put any strain on the neck, so we always want to keep our neck forward while we gently stretch our backs, right? Different positions, we don't want to hang our head, we don't want to put any extra pressure on the spine. So those are things I could recommend to keep the neck intact. Be careful of your positioning. Really important, even in yoga. Our instructors are always cautioning us if we're in a supine position and our legs are up, don't twist your neck back and forth. Getting a pillow, a better pillow to support the back of the neck as well, will help. Okay, anybody else? And feel free to unmute yourselves. Let's see, I had BC 20 years ago. They told me to stay away from any kind of soy because it could impact estrogen. It doesn't cause BC. Okay, interesting. Yeah, so again, check with your doctor with anything, we discussed today, the supplements and all, very, very important. And if you want to unmute, I know that, is there anyone here that takes my Project Healthy Bones class? Anybody? Okay. And I know that Mary just joined us yesterday, so she hasn't reaped the benefits yet, but she'll see. We're very excited to have Mary on board.
There's another person there giving thumbs up. They are.
All right, good. Yeah. Mary, you're a lot like I am, and you're very passionate about healing your bones, and it's awesome. And I cannot wait to work with you and share our stories, and even like things like the prunes, it can't hurt, right? What could it hurt? Taking 4 prunes a day, it could only, help your bowels move better. And hey, if it helps your bones, it doesn't help your bones, it can't hurt, right? But just keep at it, keep working hard. And again, if you have any questions, I'd love to talk to you. If you want to go on my wait list for the Project Healthy Bones class, I'd love to put you on our wait list for that as well.
Alrighty, it seems like there's no more questions. Thank you so much, Kathy, for your informative.
The classes are free. There's one more questions. The classes are free. Yes, they are free. All right, I ate my 4 Brazil nuts during this truck. Okay, yay. Okay.
And you can email
someone, but they still wait. How do we do that? Put on a list. Okay, just email. Let me put my email here. Okay.
I put it already. I'll put it again.
All right.
That's Kathy's email. Right, that's right.
All right, awesome. Thank you, everybody. So good to see you all. Good luck and work hard, and you can.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kathy. I hope
Bye.
everyone has a wonderful day.
okay,
Have a
bye-bye.
good day.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Isabel.
Thank you.